Today, we're going to crack open the books on your body's most important and high-stakes market, its very own internal energy economy. Have you ever really stopped to think about it? Every single thing you do, from lifting your finger to having a dream, it all comes with a biological price tag. So how does your body actually pay its bills? Well, let's dive in. All right, so to really get this payment system, we first have to understand the fundamental problem that every single one of your cells is trying to solve every second of every day. Think about it like this. In general, nature kind of tends towards chaos, towards disorder. But life is the complete opposite. It's all about building complex, incredibly ordered things like new cells or proteins or DNA. And in the language of chemistry, these big building projects are unfavorable, which is just a fancy way of saying they're not going to happen by themselves. They need a constant payment of energy just to keep going. So in this cellular economy of ours, we can basically split all the transactions into two types. On one side, you have endergonic reactions. Think of these as the big construction jobs, like building muscle. They cost energy. And on the other side, you've got exergonic reactions. These are more like the demolition crew. Breaking down the food you eat, they release energy. So the entire challenge for life is figuring out how to use the profits from the demolition to pay for all the construction. So how does the cell move that profit from one place to another? Well, it needed a universal currency, and boy, did it find a brilliant one. Meet ATP. This incredible little molecule is the dollar, the euro, the yen of your cells. It's the one form of payment that's accepted pretty much everywhere to get any kind of cellular work done. It's how energy gets packaged, moved, and spent inside every single one of us. And what does this currency buy? Just about everything. The flexing of your muscles? Paid for with ATP. The firing of a neuron in your brain? ATP. The process of pumping nutrients into a cell against a gradient? You guessed it, paid for on the spot with ATP. So, we have the problem, and we have the currency. Now let's look at how the transactions actually go down. How does the cell connect those demolition projects to the construction projects? The process is called reaction coupling, and it is beautifully, elegantly simple. So first, an energy-releasing reaction happens. Let's say you're digesting a sugar molecule. The energy from that doesn't just get lost as heat. Nope. Instead, it's captured to charge up an ATP molecule. It's literally like plugging in a rechargeable battery. Then that fully charged ATP travels to a site that needs energy, and it spends it, providing the juice to make an unfavorable reaction happen. So, the crucial point here is this. ATP is the perfect middleman, the universal connector. It makes sure that the energy you get from breaking things down is efficiently captured and then used to build things up. It's the absolute core of the entire cellular economy. Okay, but what if you need a burst of energy, like right now, faster than you can break down your food? Well, this cell has a solution for that too. Phosphagens. You can think of these as your body's readily accessible savings accounts, perfect for quick emergency withdrawals. In our muscles and our brain, the most famous of these is creatine phosphate. See, when ATP is spent, it becomes ADP. Think of it like a drained battery. But when you need a sudden burst of power for, say, a sprint or a heavy lift, creatine phosphate instantly donates its energy to recharge that ADP right back into ATP, keeping your muscles firing. And get this, the turnover rate is just staggering. Your body literally recycles its own body weight in ATP every single day. It's a ridiculously efficient short-term loan system. Now you know an economy this complex and this fast-paced needs a dedicated workforce to manage all these transactions. So let's meet the managers. You know, at the most fundamental level, the transfer of energy in our cells is really just about the transfer of electrons. When a molecule loses electrons, we call it oxidation. When it gains them, that's called reduction. This simple exchange is the basic action behind every single energy transaction. And these redox reactions, they don't just happen randomly. Oh no, they are meticulously managed by a huge class of enzymes called oxidoreductases. These are the bankers and the accountants of the cell, making sure every electron, every single bit of energy goes exactly where it's supposed to at exactly the right time. And these managers have highly specialized jobs. You've got oxidase, which work with oxygen, then there are dehydrogenases, they're the masters of transferring hydrogen atoms around. Hydroperoxidases act as the cleanup crew, neutralizing dangerous byproducts. And oxygenases are the builders, weaving oxygen atoms directly into new molecules. Each one is a critical specialist in the body's grand economic plan. Okay, so all of this is happening on a microscopic scale. How does it connect back to us? Why does understanding this tiny little economy actually matter for your overall health?
Because as elegant and perfect as the system is, it can be disrupted. And when the energy economy of your cells starts to fail, the consequences, well, they can be catastrophic. A breakdown in bioenergetics isn't just some abstract concept. It's at the very heart of conditions like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. It's a huge factor in cancer and neurodegeneration. And look at this last point. A specific type of these enzymes, the cytochrome P450s, are responsible for processing most of the medicines we take. Your cellular economy is directly tied to your health and even to how you respond to medical treatment.
And that's really what it all comes down to. The entire economy of the cell is built on this controlled transfer of energy. It's the engine of life, constantly turning. The energy released from breaking down food is captured, powering the creation of ATP, which is then spent to build you up. This cycle is the foundation of everything. So we'll end with this thought. Internally, our cells are master economists, but they exist within a larger system, us. The food we eat, the stress we endure, the sleep we get, all of it impacts this delicate balance. The question, then, is this: how can we make choices that support rather than bankrupt our own internal economy?